Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a great morning and a great week. We are kicking off a new series this weekend. We've got Who Was Jesus Really coming on Sunday for Sites, and that also was previously known as or previously titled Jesus 101. So that is a new um, the title that we have for the series, Who Was Jesus Really? And that's being broken down into 4 weeks, with Super Bowl being the fourth week of the series. The first week, Chuck's talking this weekend about Jesus followed the rules. Week 2, Brian's talking about Jesus also broke the rules. And those rules being, Paco gave a little bit of clarification yesterday, rules of religion, rules of relationship. He hung out with sinners, that type of breaking the rules. And then the third week is Jesus redefined the rules. And then Super Bowl will be the fourth week. So that kicks off this weekend. We've got a lot of awesome stuff in the plan. I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Please let us know this week if you guys have any questions, and we'll get started. So at 0, after the countdown loop, we are going to play that Crossroads Spiritual Outfitters video that we played last week. It's just about 30-second long video, giving a glimpse of who we are. Out of that, CPs or worship leaders will be up to do a welcome. Just to, again, come out of that video, give a little context about who is Crossroads, what do we do around here, what are we about around here. Maybe this is where you're going to incorporate your COVID restriction rules. Whatever you'd like to do to welcome, that comes out of that video. Then we will be into the worship block. Looks like Oakley's doing Send Me, Counting Every Blessing, and Living Hope. There are no hard points in the worship block this week at the top of service. So however you want to use that worship block, you can do that. And then CPs, CPs will then be up, unless you want to do this a little different, but CPs will be up to pray out of worship, invite people to wave and sit down, because then they're going to shift and move into a Super Bowl volunteer ask. So with it being 3 weeks before Super Bowl, we're going to do a one-time volunteer ask. I believe that all sites minus Florence, if I remember correctly, have requested a card for the Super Bowl serve ask. That will happen. CPs will have a pretty good chunk of time to do that ask, as well as the giving throw. So that'll come after worship. In that giving throw, CPs, will tell people how they can give, why we give around here. They're going to throw to a video, which is a tithing story from a woman named Angie, and she is going to talk about what tithing has meant in her life, the things that she's seen come out of her life because of tithing from God. And so that is a really nice, strong video. She also, at the end of that video, pushes people to try the 90-day tithe test. So that is her almost call to action in that video, which is why CPs can also have that call to action as to where they can give, crossroads.net/give. So that video will happen. Chuck will come out of that video. Right now, Chuck is slated for 25 minutes. Within his message, he has an interview with a Jewish rabbi. She is talking to Chuck about what the law means to them, how they interpret the law, why is it so important, all of those things, because Chuck's really hitting on Jesus was Jewish and he followed the rules that were laid out. He also talks about, God requires perfection and we can't be perfect. So Jesus is able to step in and kind of be that substitute for us, because Jesus was perfect and he followed all the rules. We can't follow all the rules, but he could, and he can be that person for us within our relationship with God. So he's really going to touch on that. It'll be really strong. I'm super excited about it. He's essentially preaching the gospel. So, you can't go wrong. It's going to be awesome. coming out of that, Chuck's really gonna drive for this hard point worship moment at the end of service. It is a mashup of What a Beautiful Name and Break Every Chain. So that he will lead into that, and that is a hard point for every site. Justin, I know, is going to do a little bit of coaching with worship leaders on that moment. Just something to note, CPs will also have a moment within that. After a good time has gone by in that mashup, CPs will be up to invite people to get rid of the chains that they might feel like they are holding on to. Chuck mentioned things like fear, hopelessness, loneliness, disappointment, lack of faith, anger, addiction, depression, confusion, shame, pride, all of that. CPs are going to almost have like a call and response time to just call those things out, to let people have the freedom to break those chains and give that up for goodness within Jesus. So that moment will happen, and then the mashup will continue. It will end. CPs will be back up again for dismissal, and that is the service. So we feel really good about it. I think it's going to be a powerful weekend. And if you guys have, like I said, if you have any questions this week leading up to it, let me know. Let Ty know. Well, you can let me know, and I'll ask Ty. But feeling good about it. Clarity needed, let us know. I'm going to go ahead and go through January 24th. So like I said, Jesus followed the rule, Jesus broke the rules, Jesus redefined the rules, Super Bowl. So January 24th, week 2 is Jesus broke the rules, and on the broadcast, it's going to be Brian in the Shawshank Redemption prison. So that is the filming for this week. Same thing at the top of service. We're going to do that Crossroads Spiritual Outfitters video at the top. Worship leaders or CPs will come out and welcome out of that. Then we'll be into the worship block. Looks like the hard point for this week is that name. And CPs are tentatively slated to have a moment within worship, almost like a modeling moment for the CPs instead of the worship leaders. Stay tuned on that, because CPs are up a lot during this service with just all the things to talk about. So stay tuned. We'll have more details on that soon. Either CP or worship leader will pray, wave, sit. And then CPs again are going to do a volunteer ask. I believe this is the last volunteer ask from stage 2 weeks before Super Bowl. And they're going to have time, again, same amount of time slated to do that. They will also have a giving moment as well. Then we will be into a Super Bowl commercial video. So that will play out of the giving moment before Brian's teaching. High energy, you know how our trailers go, commercials go for Super Bowl, high energy, funny. Brian will come out of that, and he will be talking Jesus broke the rules. Within that, he has an interview with Kim Elliott, who is from the 4-7 ministry. So talking about prison ministry and all of that. That'll be within his 35 minutes. And then a possible reprise of that name. The reprise is a hard point. Not sure about the song yet. I think Brian will probably want to figure out what his message will drive to, but like we talked about, just having live music at the end helps people have life on stage. So definitely there's going to be a reprise, and then CPs will be up to dismiss for that. So that is 2 weeks from, I guess, a week and a half from today, the 24th of January, week 2 of Who Was Jesus Really? And hopefully that gives you guys some clarity. If you have any questions this week, let us know. And excited to see what happens in your rooms this weekend.